Hey guys, there is a lot to talk about today. I am so glad that you're with me. We have got a lot to break down, a lot of big news that I know you've been hearing on the airwaves. We are going to cover everything from Omicron variant becoming dominant in the United States. We are also going to talk about the fact that there has been the first US death reported due to Omicron. And we're also going to talk about the fact that a New Zealand man has been reported dead due to myocarditis, likely caused by the Pfizer vaccine. A couple other nuggets I'm going to drop in there as well. By the way, guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle. It's great to see you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. As you guys know, during this time of Omicron and cases that are spreading and stuff like that, I am doing videos more frequently to make sure that I get you the information as quickly as possible. So let's get started. By the way, hold on, I'm just getting everything set up here. This will also give everybody a quick chance to jump on. Okay. So the first thing, let's start with Omicron becoming dominant. Okay. Guys, this has actually happened faster than I expected that it would. Interestingly enough, in the United States now, Omicron is dominant. That means at this point, it is 73% of new COVID cases in the last week are due to Omicron. That to me surprises me. Now, you know, I am one to always bring you the news and I follow the news, but I'll be honest with you, guys, we were just told about Omicron, what, 3 weeks ago ish? And already it is the dominant strain. Now, scientists were predicting that this would happen. I think what's surprising me is how quickly it did happen. And by the way, yes, it has happened. It is now the dominant strain. Omicron cases have increased sixfold in 1 week. And yes, it's only been 20 days since Omicron was actually found. Omicron was found in the United States. Since the first case of Omicron was found, it's only been 20 days. And now 73% of new cases are due to Omicron. It's a big deal, guys. And not only that, so I mentioned how 73% of new COVID cases in the last week have been due to Omicron. That's how we know that it is now the dominant strain. It's 90% of new cases in different parts of the country. So like in New York, in the Southeast, in the Midwest, in the Pacific Northwest. This is really important, guys, because if you live in these areas, you need to understand that just position myself. You need to understand that in many of your parts of the country where you live, it can be 90% or more of the cases. So suffice it to say, Omicron is here. And we know how highly transmissible it is. I tell you this every day. It has a doubling rate of anywhere from like 1.5 to 3 days. I do want to remind us, we have been saying in general, it seems to be less severe, less severe, less severe. However, there has been some conflicting data and there's suggestion that maybe we don't fully know if it is less severe or not. I want to point you to the title of this video. I'm going to also talk about a man, the first reported death from Omicron in a Texas man. So as I was saying recently, and I've said this, just because the cases are mild doesn't mean that some people may not be severely affected. And we're not fully 100% sure that all cases are mild. The verdict is still out. We do know that it is more highly transmissible, okay? A couple other things I just want to make about Omicron before I go on to the next topic. And literally, I've got like a couple of things for you guys, including the people that have died, not only from Pfizer, but from Omicron. Keep in mind, with Omicron, the vaccine, 2 doses of the vaccine will protect against severe disease, which is good, but it's not the best. A booster on top of those 2 doses of Moderna or Pfizer gives you the most protection. But as you know, we are still seeing breakthrough cases, even with people who are vaccinated and boosted. But you definitely need to be boosted with this variant. This variant is not playing around, no matter whether you call it Omicron, Omicron, Omarion, whatever you call it. This variant is not playing around. Okay, we don't know yet how many hospitalizations and deaths have been due to Omicron fully, right? We do have that report of the first sort of reported case that's reported. So there may be more, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. And the other thing to keep in mind is, remember I said that it's only been 20 days since the U.S. found its first case. Remember, up until like the end of November, the Delta variant was dominant. Delta was dominant. up until like the end of November, guys. That was just it feels like it was just yesterday. Now, so quickly, Omicron is there. A couple other pieces of news I wanted to just give you before we go on to the people who have died from supposedly from Pfizer and then also from Omicron. And by the way, just as a reminder, those people who are unvaccinated are at greatest risk for COVID, for anything. If you are unvaccinated, you are at greatest risk for dying from COVID, from getting COVID, from getting sick from COVID. You are at the greatest risk, far, far greater than those people who are vaccinated. Okay. So don't let the fact that vaccinated people are getting COVID, don't let that derail you and derail us from the main purpose here, which is that being vaccinated far, far, far protects you over being unvaccinated. The only way you want to be these days is vaccinated. Couple notes, by the way, there's a Biden aide that tested positive for COVID, by the way. This aide was actually flying with the president. The president he tested negative. President Biden tested negative on Sunday and Monday. He'll retest again on Wednesday, according to reports. Just wanted to throw that out there. Remember how I've been saying that it seems like Omicron is everywhere? Well, yeah, it seems like literally Omicron is everywhere, hence that. Another quick piece of news, though. Good news, the Moderna booster does protect. I can't read my writing. Okay, well, Moderna booster is has effectiveness against Omicron. Okay, we saw earlier that the Pfizer booster does. Now we are finding that the Moderna booster has efficacy as well. That is awesome. Okay, that is awesome. Make sure that you are getting your boosters, y'all. Get boosted. All right, next, let's move on. Now let's get into the couple of deaths that I mentioned. I think this is important. First of all, though, just a little frame of reference. I've been telling you guys I am seeing more cases of COVID than I have in months. Every day that I'm in the office now, I am talking to COVID patients who are waiting for their COVID vaccine, their COVID test to come back, that I suspect have COVID. I'm sending for monoclonal antibodies, all this stuff. Cases are increasing. And these numbers, by the way, should prove it. So we had about 90,000 cases per day in November of COVID. This was in the United States. Now we are averaging anywhere from 120 to 130,000 cases per day. Guys, this is for reals. This is real. Cases are going through the roof. I'm not here to be an alarmist. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you the facts. And the facts are that cases really are flying through the roof. Okay, now let's first start about talking about the man in New Zealand who, according to sort of like the New Zealand government, et cetera, they suspect that this man died from myocarditis that he likely got from getting the Pfizer vaccine. So let me tell you the details that we have about this man. This is according to reports in our latest newspapers and USA Today and New York Times and CNN and whatever. So this is where I'm getting this information from. It's a man in New Zealand. He was 26 years old. He developed myocarditis. Myo means heart. Myocard means heart. Myo means muscle. Card means heart. And itis means inflammation. Woo! Going back to my med school days. So it's basically inflammation of the heart muscle. Okay. He developed myocarditis after getting the Pfizer vaccine. He died within 2 weeks of his first dose of the vaccine, and myocarditis was noted by the coroner who did an evaluation of this patient in his heart. These are reports by the COVID Vaccine Independent Safety Monitoring Board, which is like a New Zealand organization / maybe it's a government organization, et cetera, but they did put out a statement about this. A couple of things to note about this gentleman. Apparently, he did not seek medical care for any symptoms he might have had. They also note that there are many different causes of heart inflammation, which is something that I wanted to tell you. I say that not as a way to detract from this, okay, because it is what it is. We do know that myocarditis or heart inflammation is a potential side effect in a small number of people who get the Pfizer COVID vaccine. We do know that. We also know that myocarditis can happen from other things. We also know that myocarditis, you are more likely to get myocarditis from COVID, the disease itself, than you are to get from myocarditis from the vaccine. meaning your greatest risk is getting myocarditis from COVID rather than the vaccine. Okay. We also know that myocarditis, when it's evaluated and treated, typically can be treated. Often in many people is self-limited, and many people go on to do well. Okay. So I want to mention those things because those are facts along with this case. Um, so with that said, just understand that, yeah, myocarditis is often treatable as well. So this COVID vaccine independent safety monitoring board has said that the person did not seek out medical care, but they also say that they still believe that the benefits of the Pfizer COVID vaccine and the benefits of COVID vaccination outweighs the risks. I agree with that. I believe that. I've done videos on myocarditis and the heart inflammation and the COVID vaccine. Remember, there are potential side effects of anything and everything that we have. It's not to dismiss these side effects or this potential adverse effect, but it's to know that it's there and to let people know that if you have any symptoms of this, to seek medical care right away. I'm going to tell you what potential symptoms might be, okay? But the benefits of the vaccine still outweighs the risk, because remember, the risk of getting myocarditis is actually much higher if you get COVID than if you get the vaccine. All right. Let's see here. And also remember that myocarditis is often treatable. Okay. So symptoms of myocarditis, the main take home for this, for you guys, is not to get scared, not to say, oh my God, my kid should not get this vaccine, or I shouldn't get this vaccine. It's to understand that just like anything and everything in life, there are risks. I mean, there's risks to walking outside your door without a mask, right? Okay. There are risks to everything. And look, there are many people who choose not to get vaccinated and accept the risks of potentially getting COVID and dying, right? There is. And every single day, we as individuals accept certain risks and reject other risks. What I am saying about the Pfizer COVID vaccine and other mRNA vaccines is that the risks of myocarditis or heart inflammation from the vaccine is much lower than it is from getting COVID, and that it's still recommended that you get the vaccine, get your kids vaccinated. Okay. All right. Symptoms of heart inflammation, myocarditis include things like chest pain, abnormal heart rhythm, shortness of breath, fatigue. Sometimes people will get what feels like viral symptoms. Sometimes people will get swelling in their lower extremities. Okay. You don't have to have any of these symptoms at all, but just note that if that happens, you get these symptoms for any reason at any time, whether you've gotten the COVID vaccine or not, please seek medical care. All right. Now let's go on to the last thing I wanted to talk about today. Okay. And that is, I wanted to talk about the first reported, U.S. death from Omicron. All right. This is information that we have gotten from different news sources. This is a man who was living in Harris County, Texas. Okay. For those of you in Texas, I don't know, let me know in the comments if you've heard this story. This literally just came out today, so I want to know what you've heard. By the way, also, but I know I've just been sort of droning on because there's so much COVID news today, and I really wanted to just chat about this and weigh in and give you my 2 cents on this. I do want to know what you guys think. I'm sorry to kind of just talk at you. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling about everything. Let me know how you're feeling about Omicron cases that have been increasing. Remember, I started off the spiel talking about how we were like at 90,000 cases every day. We're like at 120, 130,000 cases, how Omicron is now dominant. I want to know, has it changed what you're doing? Has it changed your plans? Has it changed the way you think? Let me know this in the comments. Also, let me know what part of the world you are from or what state you're from. All right. And by the way, thank you guys so much for sending stars. Okay. And hey, YouTubers, hello. I see you. All right. Let's go back to this gentleman. A man in Harris County, Texas, has died from Omicron. This was reported by, I believe it was the Board of Health or the county department, et cetera. This is what we know about this gentleman as written in news sources. Number one, he was unvaccinated. Number two, he's between the ages of 50 and 60 years old. Number three, he had actually been infected with COVID previously. So he had actually gotten COVID previously. Once again, we don't always know how much protection we're given once we get COVID. We don't know how long our protection stays. We don't know how strong our protection is. We don't know how long our protection lasts. Okay. That's just something we still don't have a good handle on. But apparently he had been infected previously with COVID. Okay. And also, the other thing that we know about this gentleman is he had underlying health conditions as well. So he was already at higher risk. Number one, because he was unvaccinated. So that makes him at higher risk. Remember, those who are unvaccinated have a much higher risk of getting COVID, becoming severely ill from COVID, dying from COVID, all that kind of stuff. He also was at higher risk because he had underlying health conditions that put him at higher risk. That's really important to keep in mind. He's 50 to 60 years old, so he's a little older. He wasn't 20, right? So we know that the risk can go up as age goes up. This is the first reported death of Omicron in the United States. However, the truth of the matter is there certainly may have been other deaths from Omicron that we just didn't know that they died from Omicron. And the truth be told is, in my humble opinion, the likelihood is that this is probably not the first death from Omicron. Given how fast the rise has been and we've started to detect it more, I believe that the likelihood is that, well, Omicron might have also caused the death for other people as well. What I want to say about that is that, once again, I know we keep saying Omicron is mild. There are many people on my videos who keep saying it's just a cold. It's just a cold. It's just a cold. It's just a cold. Well, truth be told, is colds don't usually lead to complications that cause death. Okay. And while it is true that Omicron right now seems mostly mild, everybody's symptoms have not been necessarily mild. And we don't know overall if that really is going to hold up. As we get more people with Omicron, we're really going to see, is this really mild or not? By the way, hospitalizations have been increasing over time. Remember that hospitalizations and deaths generally lag a couple of weeks behind cases. So with the data that has been a little bit conflicting and the fact that now as cases are increasing, we should get more hospital data and understand, we'll see. The hope is that really this is mild. That is what we hope. But understand that even if it is mostly mild, there are going to be some people who have severe cases. So this is the thing. Should we panic? No. Should we ignore this and act like it's nothing? No. Okay. I'm doing these videos all the time because I think it's important to be informed and it's important to know and to be able to weigh and evaluate your risks. This information is important for you and it's important for me so that we can make informed decisions about our lives and our livelihoods. We are not completely helpless with this COVID thing. You get vaccinated and you make sure you get boosted. I have too many patients and too many people that I talk to regularly who feel like they're not sure if they want to get boosted. And I can't tell you why that's the case. I have no idea. Guys, if you've gotten vaccinated, get boosted. With Omicron, you need it. The other thing is wear your mask. This is the time to bump up the mask. You see that I'm posting more videos on masks lately. Why am I doing this? Because this is a time to pull out that N95, to get that KN95, buy it from Amazon or whatever. This is a time to double mask. I did a video on that recently. This is a time to boost up your masking. And for those of you who are in states where masking is not mandatory or required, do not listen. Ooh, I just pulled my hair. Sorry. Do not listen to those people. My parents live in Nashville. In their state, masks are not required. Wear your mask. You do not want to be maskless with Omicron running around. Okay. And so for all of you though, and then for all of you who say that Omicron is just a cold, let this person who has died from Omicron let you know that there can be bad outcomes and people can get severely ill even from Omicron. Take precautions. Be vigilant as you are making plans for the holidays. Do not ignore this. It doesn't mean you have to go crawl into a hole. You need to make the decisions that are right for you, but do not ignore what we are seeing. Cases are gonna just get higher, guys. And so you're gonna have to make decisions that make sense for you. I've told you, my family, we've canceled Christmas. I don't necessarily think that's what everyone has to do. I'm not sitting here telling you that you need to not go anywhere. I don't necessarily feel that way. What I do feel, though, is that you shouldn't ignore what's happening in the world and that you should make informed decisions for yourself and really weigh the risks versus the benefits. And you should get vaccinated and you should get boosted and you should wear masks and you need to make sure there's good ventilation and all this good stuff. And you shouldn't be hanging around people who are unvaccinated and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. That's what I think. Okay. So I want to know, what are you doing for the holidays? It's not a test. It's really, when I ask you guys questions to comment in the comments, by the way, you don't know how many times what you say actually helps other people. Okay. If you're struggling with COVID right now, I don't mean to sound like an evangelist, but I really do believe in the power of prayer and the fact that this is a community and we're all on the same side. Even though there's probably lots of people right now, lots of trolls, you guys are saying, "Rah, rah, rah. COVID is just a cold." Don't listen to them. COVID's not just a cold, and the COVID vaccine's not poison, and blah, blah, blah. But if you have COVID right now, let us know. There was one person on one of my last lives that actually wrote in from the hospital. She was in the hospital. She's in as a patient, and she wrote in saying, "I'm in the hospital right now with COVID." If you have COVID, let us know so we can send up a prayer, send you well wishes, because hey, that's what we're all about. We want everyone to come out of this okay. Let us know what you're doing with masking. Let us know if you've gotten your booster, if you're on your way to doing that. Let us know if you have questions or concerns. Join my group called I Got the COVID Vaccine, guys. That's on Facebook. I have that in the description. On Facebook, there's a pinned comment. Join it. I'm going to accept everybody after this video, and on YouTube, it's in the comments as well. You can hear from other people who are getting the vaccine. If you have questions about the heart inflammation, anything and everything you want. And I've done videos and all this stuff too. This is really important. My goal is just to get us through this and to give you my 2 cents along the way. Okay. Let's not be panicked. Let's be prepared. And remember, not being panicked doesn't mean we ignore. Okay. So some people say, well, we're going to have to learn how to live with this anyway. Yeah, but that doesn't mean we ignore it. It doesn't mean we just be like, oh, la, 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 la. No. Okay. So yeah, we have to figure out how to live with it, but that means we have to get vaccinated, right? We have to wear a mask. That's what living with this is, and paying attention to it and not ignoring it. Okay. Just a couple of notes. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in tonight. Again, weigh in the comments. Let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods and how you're feeling with everything. By the way, since I'm going to be here for Christmas, I've mentioned this to you guys. I'm doing a special holiday party for those who are members of my group called Dr. Jen Superstars, which is my subscription group on Facebook. If you'd like to join, you'll get an exclusive invite to the holiday party. We'll be playing games. There'll be prizes. We did this last year too for Thanksgiving, Christmas last year during lockdown. Of course, it's not lockdown, but if you were locked down at your home and you know anywhere to be, join me and everyone else. Consider joining my group. You can find that in the description. Also, I'm doing as a thank you to you all, because so many of you so graciously send stars, and I can't thank you enough for that. First of all, I respond to you personally for those of you who are sending stars, but also for the person who sends the most stars. And actually, I might do a couple people who send the most stars in the month of December. You guys get some special prizes. So I will let you know more about that. It's my way of thanking you because you guys are literally everything. And I can't thank you enough for being here with me. Thank you also for helping everyone else on these videos, because you do. And I see you guys responding to each other and cheering each other on and helping each other. And I love that. We're going to get through this. I love you guys. Sorry I went so long tonight. Bye. All right, YouTube. Love y'all. Talk to you soon.